I'm Leanna Lowenstein, child and family therapist in Toronto, Canada. Today I'm going to share a few of my favorite engagement and check-in activities. When we meet clients for the first session, it's important to develop a therapeutic rapport so that they'll feel safe enough to open up. It's also important at the beginning of each subsequent session to re-engage the client in therapy and to check in to see where they're at. So today I'm going to share a couple of activities that you can use to facilitate the rapport building process and to check in with the client. The Lego question game is an engaging activity to use in an initial session with a client, and you can also reuse the activity at the beginning of each subsequent session. So in the first session, I give the client a Ziploc bag with his name on it, and I have assorted Lego. And I explain to the client that I'm going to ask him 3 questions to get to know him better, and he gets to earn 3 Lego each time he answers a question. Examples of questions I might ask in a first session might be, what's something you enjoy doing? Or what's your favorite junk food? Or what's your favorite movie? In subsequent sessions, we play the Lego question game at the beginning of each session. But my questions might change to be more geared towards checking in with the client. For example, tell me something that happened this week that made you feel really happy, or tell me about something that happened this week that was upsetting to you, or let's say we're working on anger management. I might ask, tell me about a time you were angry recently, and if you were able to use one of the self-calming strategies that you learned in our sessions. And of course, the client can earn 3 Lego each time he answers a question. So after a few sessions, the client has accumulated a bunch of Lego that he's accumulated into his Ziploc bag, and he can build something out of the Lego and take it home. If the client is really into crafts, I might use beads instead of Lego, and the client can earn 3 beads each time a question is answered, and can then make something out of the beads once the client has accumulated a bunch of colored beads. As an alternative, you can also use potato chips, and the client can earn a potato chip each time he answers a question. Mr. Mo is a round stuffed pillow that has a happy face when you hold it this way, and when you turn it around, it has a sad face. And so in a first session, I might use Mr. Mo to ask the client to hold the pillow and to share about a time that he felt happy, and then to turn it around and to share a time when he felt sad. And then in subsequent sessions, we always begin with Mr. Mo. The client can hold Mr. Mo and share something that happened that week that made the client feel happy, turn it around, and share something that made the client feel upset or sad. Feelings tic-tac-toe is another engagement and check-in activity that can help clients to express their thoughts and feelings. You create a feelings tic-tac-toe game board that has 9 squares, and each square has a different feeling face. So happy, mad, nervous, scared, loved, guilty, jealous, sad, relieved. And you need 2 different kinds of small wrapped candy. So you and the client each have 4 or 5 small wrapped candies. And you take turns with the client placing your candy on one of the feeling squares and telling a time that you felt that feeling. So for example, if it's my turn, I might put my candy on the top left square, which is for happy, and I would then share a time that I felt happy. Then the client would go and they would put their candy on one of the feeling squares, let's say sad, and they would share a time when they felt sad. And the object of the game is to try to get a straight or diagonal line of 3, similar to regular X's and O's or tic-tac-toe, but we're using candy instead of X's and O's. And the first person to get a straight or diagonal consecutive line of 3 wins that round, and they get to eat 1 candy. What's helpful about playing feelings tic-tac-toe in the first session and then at the beginning of each subsequent session is that as clients feel more and more engaged in the therapeutic process, they'll begin to share more salient feelings And so it's really interesting to track the client's progress and their willingness to open up more and more as they feel safer in therapy. As an alternative to using candy for feelings tic-tac-toe, you can use beads or Lego, and the client can accumulate the beads or the Lego, and over a couple of sessions, once they've accumulated a bunch, they can create something out of the beads or the Lego. So these are a few of my favorite engagement and check-in activities. I welcome your thoughts on these activities, and I would love to hear from you, so please feel free to post your comments and to share your own ideas of ways that you engage clients in the therapeutic process and check in with them in each subsequent session. Thank you.